Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. People at the last line, they were very happy when they saw my felicitation. Because once the Rotarian was asked, who is this director or what is this director what? So another person said, till this man does not shut up, the bar doesn't get open. And invariably, the felicitations are at the end. So already Shivani ne kar liya. So when people are very happy that they become silent, no, everything is going to get open. What can I say today? Vishwas, thanks for all that nostalgic memory lane. It took me almost 2.5 decades. And I still remember, we all used to sit together and talk, discuss, and do a lot of fun. And there used to be one tagline, and every time in the introduction, the way Vishwas did today, people used to say, here is a young president of Rotary Club, who is in his 30s. And then they used to say, he has 6 months young daughter. Then I became governor in less than 40s. And again the same old introduction. Even in Rotary, the past governors will understand how they do the DG visit report. They do cut, copy and paste. So same introduction went to the other person. And again they introduced, here is a young governor who has a 6 months daughter. So the time was 10 years between these two. So thanks Vishwas, you didn't say that here is a young director who has a 6 months daughter. Because I don't have time for anything right now. Very vibrant club. I was just trying to catch up a few things when I was looking at the audience. First of all, let me humbly tell you, not as the gynecologist, there are very beautiful women members in this club. You all can clap, don't worry about your partners. Because even if you or he does not love you, the introduction will be done, he is happily or she is happily married. So that's a normal trait. I also saw a very young couple coming up here for an award who had done a matching of the dress. Do you know who's that? Yeah. I don't know the name, but I saw that. So that is what the age of youngsters I always normally call. I don't know, if I try to even do this once, matching, it's going to be so difficult job because I am somewhere, my bag is somewhere, my trouser is somewhere, my shirt is somewhere, and it's all mess. But that's something which you need to learn. Another observation is, this club has got not only beautiful men, but there are handsome gentlemen here. So the men are very young, they are very smart, they are very enthusiastic. उनके लिए भी एक ताली हो जाए यार. It's a law of equality. I'm very dedicated. I was with my aide, Jatin. Jatin is here. I've been standing the last night. The young guy talking about like an encyclopedia book. I was very happy about it. Because the people say youngsters don't understand Rotary. Or they sometimes say that the ethos of Rotary is not known. And a club which came up with 200 plus members, what can I say, Satish, to you now? Satish was the past governor. In 97, 90, he was the governor. And whenever he used to be there as a speaker, I still remember the first line, the Almighty of God, Almighty of the Great. People don't forget that. So he is the architect of forming this kind of Rotary. He's also excellent in Urdu and Shairi. So something for him, why I'm here is बेवजह है तभी तो दोस्ती है यारो, वजह होती तो व्यापार. He calls me one day and just says, Rotary Club of Vision wants to invite you. And he unquotes that his daughter is going to take over. And he also unquotes his daughter was a Mrs. Beauty awardee of Nagpur. He doesn't say anything. But today was a day, after almost 2 years, I came to our club's installation, just specially, and especially for respect to Satish and entire his family. Because that is a contribution and dedication what they have done in several years of time. You know, कहते हैं that every beginning has a very, very good omen which we start from word swastik. So swastik has swar, Surya has swar, Satish has swar, even Sahastra Bhojri has swar, and Shivani has swar. Of course, when his beautiful wife has swar. So, it's like a swaha for these clubs today. But why we are here? And what a feast, getting 25 members. Shabir will remember his tenure as governor. The governor struggles very hard. And Shabir is a very meticulous guy. To get members, to get contribution is not that easy. And then in one function, one evening, you get 25 crossing 200 members. It's something a phenomenal gift. A better gift than what we have done. Felicitation to be here. Because I think that is what the organization requires. And I always recognize people of service. Because I have believed that service is the path of purification. It's as simple as that. And I see among us Dr. Dilip Gupta. I think Dilip, you should take first seat. Rotary should offer the seat to the people who do service on the first line. Please come and have a seat on the first row. This is a recognition for your service for the poor people. And one round of applause for the selfless service what he does in this. Incidentally, Swami Vivekananda, who came from Chicago, Rotary also came from Chicago. Because Vivekananda became popular from the land of Chicago, where he said brothers and sisters. And in 1905, he also came up from the same land of Chicago, with the same concepts. The theme keeps on changing, you know? The guards keep on changing. Some people say it's a change of guard ceremony, Shivari today. That Mr. Naidu will pass on the belt, to you. And July is like this. I don't know if Maharashtra state government also has started adopting the same. But they have also started changing the guard in the same month. But it's on people's democracy. So July to June is a similar pattern. Whether it's in United Kingdom, it's a change of guard. Whether it's a Rotary International, change of guard. But one thing which is very good in this time, since you all are from Maharashtra, I always say की पंचसंतकांची महाराष्ट्राची आमची भूमी आणि याच महिन्यामध्ये आषाढामध्ये जी वारी निघते. Millions of people, they work for a cause. No one invites them. Today the board of directors, they must have invited you. They must be worried that there is a chief guest coming and whether you all are here or not. But वारीला कोणी invitation देत नाही. No one calls people for invitation. They don't even call people that you are going to get an award or reward. But still people follow because they believe that service is the path of spiritualism. And that is the reason they keep on coming. I keep on going to several places. It's not only one. Sometimes to the mosque, sometimes to the church, sometimes to Gurudwara, sometimes to the temple, because people take me. I don't know how many blessings I must have got in my life. I don't know. There's uncountable blessings that people give. But whenever I am at Amritsar, I go to the Golden Temple and I see car seva. And I wonder, people don't do car seva there for clicking a photo. They don't. They don't clean the floor or clean the vessels because someone else is watching there. There is no HR manager. There is no governor watching. They do it for their good on their own. And that ethos has been carried for so many years, whether it's a langar, whether it's a kasi, whether it's a missionary activity. So I think Rotary can be the organization of choice, not compulsion. People should feel that this is my choice that I want to be here. And this is very, very essential in today's life. There are people here, I can see Praful is here. So many past governors who are senior people. Why did they remain in Rotary for several years? Do you feel that 1 year of the presidency or the 1 year of the governorship, they remained in Rotary? No, I don't think so. They remained because they got the opportunity to serve. Someone got the opportunity for a personality development. Someone got an opportunity to get a friend, philosopher or a guide who was more thicker than blood, but he was not his own relative. We go across several occasions. In COVID, people ask me, even the journalists were asking me, what happened in COVID? India believes, even now, that if someone is not well, 20, 50, 100 relatives going and meeting him gives him a better remedy than medicines. But what happened in COVID? His own family members are getting scared to meet him, to shake hands, to give him food, to share a chai. So, the process in life they have taught us different folds. The own family members were so scared that they were neither allowing them to come and stay in their houses or not even going to the funerals of their own people. Last year I must have buried more than 100 people from my own hospital. In the last 27 years, what I have not seen their deaths, I must have seen their deaths in 6 to 8 months of time. But that's what we never anticipated. So life is very, very unpredictable. And here we have a great life. We meet people, we enjoy, our days and our entire beautiful life. So serve to change lives and imagine a route. Find that there is any difference. Neither do fantastic work. Shivani is also going to do equally good, fantastic work. The difference is the innovation. And that innovation is going to remain for a longer time in people's mind. And I can see that innovation. Today the innovation began with the green jackets, green and purple theme. The innovation came with the entire beautiful decor. The innovation came with adding so many members. But the real innovation will come is when at the end of the Rotary year, if people remember them with engraving some kind of memories which will never happen in life, that will be the real innovation of the leadership. There is a photographer here, I can see him clicking photograph on a tripod or doing videography. In the older houses, if you remember, whenever we used to go inside the house, we used to call the hall or darbar, and in that first hall, we used to keep the photograph frame of our great-grandfathers or Dadaji's. It used to be a very common scene, especially in India or Asia. Now I go to so many houses. The houses are very beautiful, extremely good. But those photographs of great-grandfathers or mothers, they're missing, they're gone. So when I inquire, they say, yes sir, what happened? So interior nahi match hota hai photographs. The walls of the hall do not match with the great-grandfather's photos or the frames. So हम लोगों ने photo निकाल दिया, वहाँ से हमने अंदर रख दिया, bedroom. The photo goes in the bedroom. After a few years, the son gets married from the family and Bahu comes in. And Bahu says, I can look at your great-grandfather and do a honeymoon, please remove him from my bedroom. Which is a fact. So again the photo comes out from there and the photo goes either on the loft or in a drawer. So what is the value of this photo? What is the value of this award or reward or a certificate? And for whom? That remains a question. We all people, believe into several prayers. We believe into, as per your own religions. I don't want to go into that. We believe into something, maybe a murti puja, or maybe a photo puja, or maybe just imaginary. You see today's several temples, they are flooded. Last week I was in Tirupati. Millions of people. You go to Sai Baba, same thing, followers. But do the disciples who really go into these vastus are mentally so much in tune with that kind of a spirituality? I stand, on the last line of the temples and see people going. Half of the time their attention is whether their chappal will get stolen or not. It's a fact. Go and see your temples. Your stilettos, your heels, your beautiful leather shoes. When you park it out, half of your mind is, when I come back after the darshan, whether they will be there or not. So half their mind is in that. Then once they go front of the hundi, they put their hand in the pocket and suddenly they realize that a 500 note has come up. So they try to push that note inside. Because now they want the smallest denomination to put it in the hundi. So they push that 500 down, they again take it out, then 100 comes, again they put it down, then they take out 10 rupees. Because the entire life they have learned to bargain. So they want to learn, they have learned. So now they want to bargain with the God also, with the minimum amount and with the maximum blessings. It's as simple as that. Usko 10 rupees dena hai. In that 10 rupees he wants a beautiful wife, he wants children to be educated, Oxford University admissions, he wants a BMW car. He wants everything in that 10 rupees. Maybe even he wants a girlfriend additional. You never know that. But he wants to do all that in 10 rupees, not more than that. Because his entire life journey is connected with this kind of a concept of I bargain. I do something for a reward, I do something for an award, I do for something for a recognition. People will say and talk, who gave the flower to whom first, who sat in the first line and who sat in the second line. So we people, when we join organization, we forget the cause why we have come here. I think your club, Vision Club, when you have got that great name and legacy, vision, your vision should be a different vision. Your vision should be innovation. Your vision should be something which will remain for a longer time. The grandchildren, the next generation should remember Shivani Surai was one leader who depicted service. She built schools. She built hospitals which was given to hundreds of patients free of cost. She and her board created some kind of a vastu where there was a village where there was no water. And they were the people who imagined Rotary that there will be a peaceful life to the underprivileged society. I think that message will go much further ahead. People will not remember who was 1989 president or 2006 director. They will not remember. They will forget about it. But these things, smaller things, what you do, will be remembered and they will be engraved and embedded for quite a long time. And I'm sure the family genetics what you have, I don't know whether she looks like Sunanda or she looks like Satish or a combination. But I feel she's taken both, the ingredients, the best ingredients of smile, looks and the leadership. So she already has that in her. And this club, by bestowing the leadership and trusting her, has given her more morals. Forget about that introduction, chugli hai, cranky hai, or that is something for the heart. And that is what makes people live a real life. Even two sisters' love is not very common nowadays, Shivani, I tell you that. Today's world is very different. So one sister talking about other sister, very good. One doctor talking about another doctor, very good. Two past governors remaining in the same group club and still being a friend is a very rare commodity. It's a very rare commodity. So you all guys have achieved that commodity. You have gone far beyond that, far excellence on that. So, a शायर says in that ख्वाहिश का काफिला, ख्वाहिश का काफिला अक्सर वहीं से गुजरता है जहाँ कोई रास्ता नहीं होता. You are the teamers, you are the visionary people who are going to find different paths of getting this club on ahead. And I can see a very bright future. I was very happy. People said as a director normally doesn't go for a club installation, but I feel very proud, privileged to be here today among all of you. I won't take much time. I know the bar has to get open, but still. Because normally Satish and me, when we sit, we don't look at the watches. And in those days, we didn't have the mobiles also. So we don't even look at them. So महफिल हमारी वही रहती है कि महफिल is something. It's not कि चेहरों की तादाद यहाँ पे ख्याल आ रहा है. It's the get together. It's the friendship. It's the fellowship when we meet and we rejoice and we celebrate what we have done work together. I think people should work silently and their work should make a noise once it's complete. Not make a noise before you do work. So work silently and your work will make a noise. And that is what exactly this meeting is for. At the introduction, my friend Vishwas also said, Vishwas, I have got great Vishwas and faith on you. But he said, I came from Pune, I came from law. I did not come from law, I did not spend much time. And I always tell people, why you should give time to Rotary. I think Dilip will agree more because he's doing it day in and out. But my mother, and I keep telling this story to many districts, my mother always used to tell me that Mahesh, whenever you go and you leave the house, you should do puja. Think of your whatever you feel, and then you should start your day. Somehow I lost my time zone in last 365 days. I must have had more than 185, 90 flights. I don't know where I am. I don't know which room I am. I get confused with the room. Don't interpret it something wrong. So I don't know where I stay or sleep. And I don't know which country I am because I see all the country only from the window. I don't know actually what country it is. But when people ask, how do you give time? And then I tell them that I could not get time to do puja at the same time of that sunrise, because when my sunrise was there was some sunset at some other place. But once I was going and I do a lot of medical missions. So once we were one of the coastal belts near Maharashtra. But I saw a very small young girl and she was crawling on the floor and she was crippled. So I looked at her, she was completely wrapped in a mud with sweat. And I went and I asked her, I like to ask two questions to everyone. One is, I asked, what do you want to do in life and what is your dream? So I went to her, I asked, what's your name? And she said, my name is Pooja. And suddenly I got a concept. Looking at her, I think this is what Pooja, I think my mother was talking about. So then my second question came to her, and I said, Pooja, what is your dream of life? Pooja looks at me and says, sir, my dream of life is, I want to go to the toilet on my own feet. I suddenly stopped. And I realized if I ask you in this August gathering today, if you go and ask your brothers, sisters, children, granddaughters, anyone, then what is your dream of life? Will anyone tell you that I want to go on my feet to the toilet? There are all different dreams. And ambitious dreams are there. There's I want a big car, there's I want a big flat, I want big land, I want some big reward, big dress. And then I realized this small girl, when she's saying that my dream of life is go to the toilet, every day she must be feeling dependency. She must be feeling humiliation. Plus she's a girl, so someone is carrying her to go to the toilet 4 or 5 times a day. And you can understand the plight of her entire psychology and life. So when we decided to operate her, we are not magicians. Rotary is magic, but we are not magicians. So we just did a few corrective surgeries. And on the 3rd day of the medical camp, I put her on a physiotherapy and put her into that walker. Walker is something like a U shape with the 2 wheels. And I said, let's try taking her to the toilet on her own feet. to the English toilet, not the Indian toilet, the Western toilet. So this girl, on the third day after the correction, stands on her own feet, with a walker, and goes to the English toilet. My eyes. So one dream could get settled. The girl comes out of the toilet, and that's the last day. And I decide that now here is the time that I'm going to go back. Feeling that I have achieved something in my life. And her mother comes to me and says, Pooja wants to meet you, sir. And Pooja comes there with a closed fist. And she opens that fist, and then there is one Rawalgaon chocolate. In our time, there used to be a Rawalgaon chocolate, not eclairs, which used to be hardly 10 paisa. So that was a chocolate which was given to her by her mother. And her mother had told her that there will be one day, God will come, and your dream will get completed. That girl did not eat that chocolate, and she had kept the chocolate for this particular day. So she presents that chocolate to me. I take that chocolate, I start driving from the hills. I unroll that chocolate and put it in my mouth. And ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, that was my highest medical fee which I ever got in my life. So, I want that sweetness to linger in your journey of Rotary life. Life is very short, I told you. You have to find your happiness. I cannot. No speaker can tell you. No books and manuals can teach. And the more you introspect yourself, I think more and more you start enjoying it. At the end of the day, I can say, I have lived my life in hospital right from birth, because I was born in my own hospital where my father is also a doctor. Everyone gets born in a hospital. So I'm not saying in that context. But I was born in my own hospital and I grew in the hospital. And every hospital I used to see, even in my own hospital I see, there is one ward where there is a maternity ward, where all people are very happy. They come with pedas and burfis. And then that Kabir's dua says, "Jab hum paida hue, tab jagah hase aur hum roye." And then I finish that ward and go on the fourth ward. And I see the intensive care unit ward. And I see people struggling for a death in the last breath. Same place, same person, same day. So same vastu, same time, same panchang. And someone is struggling there and he's feeling that I should live more life. Everyone wants to live a very long life. And then he says that, I will give you a lot of money, I will spend a lot of, his relatives says that, हम लोग कुछ भी करेंगे, like that Amitabh Bachchan story, मेरा खून ले लो, all that, but nothing happens. Because it's already late. And that is the time a person starts realizing that the best of my life I could not give it. And now there is no time to live. So again the Shair says, that मरने के बाद मेरा जनाजा निकला और जनाजे के पीछे सारा गांव निकला. पर साला वही नहीं निकला जिसके लिए मेरा जनाजा निकला. So it's no point of living now life for what I was craving, what I was saving. And that's the last time of your life. It's like Bhagwan Osho. I was a fan of Bhagwan Osho. Bhagwan Osho said, that live a life in such a way that your death will be celebration. And never disciples of Osho cried when he died. We were in the same procession. So people will enjoy your death by thinking what you did in your life. And that should be your life. Because otherwise, no kawa will go and touch your rituals at the end. Because kawa also knows very well that even if you give him orange burfi of Nagpur, he knows how the soul was. It will not come. And that Asantushta Atma, even at that position if he goes, still he is greedy and he still looks at back. And then he says, झाँक कर देखा गली में पर कोई भी आया न था और अब भूल जाने के साथ कोई भी चारा न था. Don't have that moment of life, but cherish that sweetness of that chocolate which will linger throughout your journey, and your future generation will always remember you. The person from the Vision Club was a real visionary. God bless you. Thank you so much.